Greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here. Every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 3 decades plus of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing and regenerating system. It's designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while that may seem like a miracle to some folks, this renewing system is really nothing more than just the way the body works. 6010 is our phone number, 844-236-6010. Got lines open for you. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, we've been focusing on mind power and mind electricity and body electricity and the electrical nature or the invisible nature of good health, the invisible nature of the life force, the invisible nature of lack of health, I guess you could say. We've been speaking about that for a few weeks now. We'll continue our discussion on the electrical nature of the body and the invisible nature of good health. And if you have questions about any of that, mind, body, medicine, or if you have questions about your prescription drugs or formulations or ingredients, or if you just have a common or success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, the ones I take and the ones I recommend, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team if you're an entrepreneur, if you like the entrepreneurial lifestyle, if you want to work for yourself, if you want to be in the health business, the multi-billion-dollar health business, if you want your share of the healthcare pie. Nutrition is a great way to enter into the healthcare business. And the longevity products are a great way to enter into the nutritional healthcare business for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. We'll help you build your business, and you can help change the world at the most fundamental and basic level there is, which is the level of good health. Call 866-735-2470 or hit the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. If you want to purchase our Truth Skin Health products, you want to go to truthtreatments.com. Take a look at our perfect pair for $49. You get almost 1 month supply of our Truth Biomimetic Mineral Mist made with fulvic minerals and lactic acid, polyelectrolytes for helping oxygenate skin, hydrate skin, and most importantly for helping deliver active ingredients from your Truth Transdermal C Serum, your lipophilic, fat-soluble vitamin C. Don't be mistaken by don't make the mistake of mixing up ascorbic acid with fat-soluble vitamin C. I post a lot about vitamin C on Facebook. If you want to check out our Facebook page, by the way, it's The Bright Side with Pharmacist Ben and also Truth Treatments. Anyway, I post a lot on Facebook about vitamin C, and I always get people responding about, I can make my own vitamin C. I use ascorbic acid. No, if you really want to have vitamin C effects on your skin, and vitamin C is critical for building connective tissue and fighting wrinkles and keeping your skin healthy, making moisture factors, building a strong barrier, preventing the infections from microbes, etc. Vitamin C is just remarkably powerful stuff. On the skin, it's just as powerful as it is inside the body, but it's got to be fatty vitamin C, fat-soluble vitamin C, and this is an important distinction. You guys probably know about this distinction because we talk about it a lot on this program, but the average person has no idea about this distinction. The average person who does not listen to The Bright Side really has very little sense about how their body works or about how health works. If you're listening to The Bright Side, you're on the cutting edge. The average person, I got to remind myself of this all the time. I just assume people know about ingredients. I just assume people know what active ingredients are. I just assume people know about the importance of nutrition for health. But you know what? The vast majority of folks have no idea that you can use nutrition to take care of your arthritis and cholesterol and heart disease and diabetes. And they have no idea that that very same nutrition can be used topically for wrinkles, or to prevent wrinkles, or to reverse wrinkles. You can use topical nutrition to reverse wrinkles. That's what retinoic acid or vitamin A does. For dark spots, for wrinkles, for sun protection, for anti-aging, for skin health, for wound healing, for eczema or psoriasis. You can use topical strategies to improve these conditions. And they're, I should say, topical nutritional strategies. The average person has no idea of this. If you are a skin health professional, an esthetician, I know we have a lot of estheticians listening to this program, check out TrueTreatments.com. See how we're handling skin issues. See how we're handling skin issues medicinally, but nutritionally. Most people think of medicine, they think of drugs. When I think of medicine, I think of nutrition. I'm a nutritional pharmacist because I use nutrition like other pharmacists or other healthcare professionals use drugs. And when I'm formulating skincare products, same thing. I use nutrition. Instead of baloney active ingredients, I use nutrition. Topical vitamin C, topical vitamin A, topical zinc, and topical polyelectrolytes. TrueTreatments.com for all our True Skin Health products born in the pharmacy with ingredients that are born in your skin. TrueTreatments.com, TrueTreatments.com. All right, I had a couple of, I want to talk about the fields of life as Dr. Saxton Burr. The title of his book, Dr. Saxon Burr, The Fields of Life. It's a very simple, easy to understand book. It came out, 1972. He's long past. Dr. Harold Saxton Burr had been studying what he calls the fields of life for decades. He started studying in the 30s. He wrote this book in the 70s. He calls the fields of life, by the way, the electrodynamic field of life. I call it the electrodynamic field of life. He calls it fields. He calls the L stands for life, the fields of life. He calls them L fields. And he says that they are critical for helping the body grow, for how the body shows up. Dr. Becker talks about it in The Body Electric. This is not airy-fairy, folks. This is hardcore science. L fields, bioelectrical fields, how tissue grows. When we talk about nutrition, we're really talking about how tissue grows. When we really talk about being healthy, we're really talking about how tissue grows. The body is made up of cells and stuff. When we're sick, it shows up at the level of the stuff, and it starts off at the level of the cells, and the cells are only going to be as healthy as they are electrically active or electrically conductive. All nutrition works via electricity, and because we don't understand electricity, we don't understand nutrition, unless you're listening to this program, of course. And I am still going to speak about this, but there's a couple things. I got an interesting question today. My friend Diane, I don't know if she's listening, but I told her I would address her question because I've been meaning to talk about prostate for a long time. I'm not going to go off track too much, but I have been meaning to talk about the prostate for a while. And she asked, can you talk about the prostate? Or actually, her specific question was, somebody has a PSA of 7, I think she said, or 7.7 or something like that. And she wanted to know about dealing with the prostate, with prostate issues if you have a supposed high PSA. Let me tell you something, folks. The PSA test is not a reliable test, and even doctors understand that it's not a reliable test. So if you got a PCA, diagnosis of an elevated PCA or 7.7 or whatever it was, don't freak out. You still got to take care of your health. You still got to make sure that you're doing stuff correctly to take care of your health. That's for sure. So I'm not saying that the PSA is completely meaningless, but just because you have a PSA doesn't mean you have a high PSA doesn't mean you have cancer. You have BPH, you just have an enlarged prostate. And people who have prostate cancer, it's a very slow-growing cancer. It's not deadly necessarily. What is a problem are the ridiculous surgeries they do that will mess up your life. The PSA does not detect all cancers. You can have a normal PSA and still have cancer. So I'm not a big believer in the PSA. Nonetheless, taking care of your prostate is important, but you can't, as we said yesterday, you can't take care of a problem at the level of the problem. That's how the medical model works. They take care of the problem at the level of the problem. You got to go behind the problem. Guess what it is that causes an elevated PSA? Inflammation. Always. Inflammation. What's inflammation? All right, we'll talk about that when we come back from our break. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
Are you...
Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. We've got blog posts, news, stories, videos, lots of free health information, as well as the longevity products. I also have my Moments of Truth posted at criticalhealthnews.com. Thank you, Jonty, for setting those up. But we also have our Moments of Truth, or Moment of Truths, set up on my Facebook page, The Bright Side with Pharmacist Ben. Love to have you follow us there. I did my Moment of Truth today on sensitive skin. Sensitive skin should never happen. Nobody should have sensitive skin, but 50 to 60% of adults claim they have sensitive skin at least one time or another during their lives. That should never happen. Sensitive skin is like dry skin. It's like hyperpigmentation, or it's like any other skin condition. It's a health issue and not a skin issue. That's how we got to look at these things. We got to look at issues of health as issues of health as health issues, not as specific to the organ or the structure or the part of the body we see them on. It's true about the skin. It's true about the heart. Heart disease is also important. I have a Moment of Truth on cholesterol and heart disease. Heart disease is a nutritional issue, a sugar issue. It's not a cholesterol issue. Behind elevated cholesterol, guess what you have? Guess what you'll find behind elevated cholesterol? Elevated blood sugar, 0.2 on our triangle of disease. Actually, it's the triangle of disease that's behind everything. So we talked about prostate before we went to break. The PSA test is notoriously unreliable when it comes to treating or detecting cancer. Even the PSA, the discoverer of the PSA, says that the test is unreliable and it's misused. So if you have a high PSA, that doesn't mean you want to ignore it, but it doesn't mean you need to have a painful biopsy or a prostatectomy. Oh my God, a radical prostatectomy? Forget it. Can you ask anybody who's had a radical prostatectomy and ended up incontinent or impotent? 100,000 people have these, or more probably, have prostatectomies every year. But most people who have a little prostate cancer are not going to die from it. It grows really, really slowly. Prostate cancer, you're always going to have a little bit of cancer in your body. We got to rethink cancer. It's not to say if you're going to the bathroom a lot in the middle of the night, you have changes, you have sexual issues, you could have a prostate problem. But it's not an issue it's not a reason to have a prostatectomy or a biopsy. Just take care of your prostate, take care of your health, and then take care of your prostate. Prostate's a fatty gland. It responds to fats. This distinction between fats and water is something that we talk about a lot on this program, but the average person doesn't know it. The average doctor doesn't know it. There's a very important distinction between fats and water. Peanut butter and jelly, that's all you got to think about. Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter is fatty, jelly is watery, and the jelly is of a completely different character than the peanut butter. You can get rid of the jelly, no problem. The peanut butter sticks, and that's a visual for the distinction. Oils have a sticky quality. It's a lot harder to get oil stain out of your clothes than it is to get a water stain out of your clothes. You got to take an oil stain to a dry cleaner because water doesn't work. They got to use chemicals, solvents to do it, and that's why dry cleaning fluids and cleansers are so toxic, because they dissolve fats, including the fats of your cells and fats in your lungs. Anyway, I digress. For taking care of the prostate, Diane, and anybody else, focus on fats. That means eliminating the crappy fats. Yesterday I got a little bit of attention, negative attention we'll say, via email. People saying, oh, you shouldn't be telling people about oils, and why are you saying oils are good, and blah, blah, blah. It's not that oils are good or bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they've got nutritional value. You just got to watch out for it. And you definitely don't want fried fats or trans fats. Trans meaning hydrogenated or somehow chemically processed fats. That's definitely what you don't want for the prostate. Fats are incorporated into cells as is. The body doesn't change them. They go into the cells as is. So trans fats become part of your cell membranes, and that can be awful for cell chemistry for a lot of reasons, including for the health of fatty glands like the prostate. Vitamin E for the prostate. Vitamin E and essential fatty acids for the prostate. And I have read stuff that talks about how omega-3 fatty acids, I think it was. I was just reading today about flax, the fatty acids that come from flax might be a problem for folks who have prostate issues. That's if you take them a lot. If you take straight alpha-linolenic acid, that's the omega-3 that's found in fats. You do want to be a little bit careful, but if you have a balance of omega-6s to omega-3s, it's not like you want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. See, yes, it's true. The wrong oils can increase prostate risk, and by wrong oils, I'm talking about processed hydrogenated oils, although there are studies that talk about omega-3 type oils, which basically fish oils, and also seed oils may be a problem. I'm not so sure, because I certainly wouldn't avoid them. Maybe avoid taking concentrated omega-3s by themselves, but I would not avoid intaking them. Use your Ultimate EFA. It's perfectly balanced. Use your Ultimate EFA. Vitamin E. Zinc is really important because zinc is a fatty mineral. Minerals as a whole are not really processed by the fat system, but there are a few that are. Zinc is, selenium is. Those are the two that stand out. Zinc and selenium. They're handled by the fat system of the body, and it's no coincidence that they're also very important for the prostate, zinc and selenium. Zinc and selenium are important for the skin, another fatty organ. What you do for your skin what you do for your prostate nutrition is going to help your skin, and vice versa. Same nutrients because they're both fatty. They're both very they've both got dense fat, a dense fatty nature. That's what I mean to say. Vitamin E, zinc, selenium for prostate, pumpkin seeds. I absolutely love a plant steroid. Plants make steroids too. They're called phyto, meaning plant, steroids. Plant steroid called beta-cytosterol, beta-sitosterol, some people say. Beta-cytosterol, beta-sitosterol. I love that stuff. I've been taking that stuff for years. I notice when I don't take it, I start to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night more. Even if I stop taking it for a week or so, I take it every day, 375 milligrams a day, beta-cytosterol. You can find it in the ProstFX. Amazingly valuable for enlarged prostate. So, don't freak out if you got a high PSA. If you have prostate antigen, PSA, by the way, stands for prostate-specific antigen, and the prostate-specific antigen is elevated when you have any kind of inflammatory condition in the prostate. It's a test for inflammation. It's not a test for cancer. It's a test for inflammation. This is why the PSA fluctuates, by the way. It goes up and it goes down, depending on what you ate, probably. They've never tested it, but I have a hunch that they'll find that the PSA goes up and down depending on diet. I'd like to. I've never seen a study like that or any research like that, but from a biochemical standpoint, it makes perfect sense that it's going to fluctuate based on your diet. They say if it's under 2.5, this is measured in nanograms, a billionth of a gram, if you can imagine that, per milliliter. If it's under 0.5, then you're low. Over 10 is considered moderately elevated. 7.7 is slightly elevated for my friend Diane. So don't think of it like a cancer thing. Think of it like an inflammation thing, and don't even think of it like a prostate thing. Think of it as a general inflammatory problem. Use selenium, use zinc, use your essential fatty acids, use vitamin E, lycopene from tomatoes and watermelon also. That can help. These phytonutrients can help, as well as phytosterols like beta-cytosterol or beta-sitosterol. And don't forget about turmeric. That's a really interesting anti-cancer herb that protects the fatty part of the body. It's specific for the fatty of the body. Turmeric, or curcumin, spice that contains curcumin, the ingredient that's in turmeric. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. We are back on the bright side. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We got lots of lines open for you. We'll get your calls here just a moment. 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, prostate issues. I hope my friend Diane is listening. By the way, progesterone, which is well known as a female hormone, it's also a male hormone, is also very important for the prostate. If you have been diagnosed with BPH, you're going to the bathroom a lot in the middle of the night, you want to protect your prostate, you're at risk for prostate cancer. If you have the androgenic body type, you're at risk for prostate cancer. The androgenic body type is lean and mean, muscular, narrow, long fingers, toes, narrow build, narrower face, hair loss, acne when they were kids. That's the androgenic body type. If you're prone towards that, and then plus you find yourself going to the bathroom a little bit more than you in the middle of the night, twice or 3 times or 4 times, or you're having problems urinating. There's a whole bunch of prostate symptoms that involve urination and also sexual issues. Anyway, if you have any of these issues and you have an androgenic body type, you may want to think about using some progesterone. Topical progesterone. I have a topical progesterone product I'm working on. It should be out. It's being tested right now. It should be out here hopefully in a couple months. The big issue is hard to get progesterone now with the coronavirus. Most of it comes from China. And interestingly, speaking of China, I'm just reading something about China and the coronavirus here. Do you know, according to Richard Z. Cheng, MD, PhD, a Chinese-American doctor who's working with the government in China and who's recommending clinical IV vitamin C. And guess what they're finding out? Surprise, surprise. Vitamin C treatment should be initiated as soon as possible. Numerous studies have shown that a high dose of vitamin C has a lot to do with effective treatment. High-dose vitamin C can not only improve antiviral levels, but more importantly, can prevent and treat acute lung injury and acute respiratory distress. This is from, that's from, I can't see if I can say this, Zhan Chutong University, second hospital, Chinese hospital. Here's what they're missing, though. And this is really interesting about vitamin C. Okay, so the hospital gets, and Dr. Cheng and Dr. Yanagisawa, who works at the hospital, both recommend high-dose vitamin C, oral vitamin C, for prevention of infection, for improving antiviral levels, and for preventing and treating lung injury, acute lung injury, and acute respiratory distress. That's true about vitamin C. It does all that. But you know what is one of its most important mechanisms? It's got a lot of mechanisms, but one of its most important mechanism of action is it keeps the connective tissue strong. Yeah, vitamin C upregulates the immune system for sure. But in a lot of ways, its benefits are related, just as related to the fact that it builds connective tissue. Number one, when you build connective tissue, it makes it harder for viruses to spread. It makes it harder for anything to spread because the connective tissue isn't part of the immune system. It's protective. The connective tissue is beyond amazing. I don't even know how to express the amazingness of the connective tissue and how fascinating the connective tissue is. Of course, cells are fascinating and subcellular structures are fascinating and organs are fascinating. The eyes are fascinating. There's lots of things that are fascinating. But still, collagen and connective tissue, oh my God, the things that stuff does. The collagen connective tissue, yeah, they give the body structure, but they also prevent things from attacking. They have an immune system embedded in the connective tissue that fights infections. That's why bone soup is so anti-infective. That's why chicken soup is Jewish penicillin. Because the connective tissue from the bones, the cartilage from the bones, that book that came out, Why Sharks Don't Get Cancer. Sharks are highly cartilaginous. The cartilage and the connective tissue and the collagen is not just there for support. It's part of the immune system. And so strengthening it is incredibly antiviral. How do you strengthen it? Well, lots of ways, but one of the most important is vitamin C. When we get sick and we age, in large part, it's because the connective tissue is getting sick and aging, and vitamin C is the quintessential connective tissue vitamin. In fact, without vitamin C, you don't make connective tissue. You can't. It's a key that unlocks the production. It's literally a trigger. They call it the rate-limiting step. Some of the chemistry that's involved with vitamin C is called the rate-limiting step. But you can just think of it like a key that opens up the production of collagen. No key, no collagen. No vitamin C, you get collagen deficiency disease, which is called scurvy. What people don't tell you is that aging is scurvy. You go out there to the average medical professional or healthcare professional and say, how many patients have you seen today or yesterday or this year or this month with scurvy? Nobody has scurvy anymore. Well, yeah, maybe they don't have full-blown scurvy, but they got subclinical scurvy. That's called aging. Aging equals subclinical scurvy. You heard it here first. Everything, and it's not, I didn't make it up, it's just obvious if you just look at the symptoms of aging. All the things we hate about aging. It's basically deterioration of the connective tissue. Heart disease, deterioration of the connective tissue. Cancer, deterioration of the connective tissue. Skin problems, wrinkles and thinning and fine lines and crow's feet, deterioration of the connective tissue. Hernias and prolapses, deterioration of the connective tissue. Arrhythmia, deterioration of the connective tissue. Bone disease, osteoporosis, deterioration of the connective tissue. Weakness, frailty, deterioration of the connective tissue. Hello? Get yourself some vitamin C. And a lot of it, too, because it's water soluble and you pee it out. That's one of the great things about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. If you do it slowly throughout the day, you'll be giving yourself a relatively high dose of vitamin C throughout the day. And use it topically for wrinkles. I'm telling you, if you're using an anti-aging product that does not feature lipophilic, fat-soluble, stable, fatty vitamin C, not the cheap ascorbic acid. Yes, you can get that cheap. Sometimes it's expensive even, but whatever. not ascorbic acid. Fatty vitamin C, you're missing the boat on skin care. And of course, it's not just for the connective tissue vitamin C. Vitamin C is also very important for helping build the barrier of the skin, not just for wrinkles. Vitamin C gives you a stronger skin barrier, which makes it the quintessential topical healing substance. And there's no reason to believe why it's not going to heal the inside of your body as well. Little nicks and cuts and scrapes in your coronary arteries lead to plaques. Plaques don't just spontaneously appear inside the blood vessels. They appear because the blood vessels are weakening. Vitamin C protects the lining as well as the collagen in the inside part of the blood vessel tubes. Makes it really, really important. And if you're worried about the coronavirus, and I can't believe people are, it blows me away how people are freaked out about the coronavirus. Do you know there's like a 3-week wait time for hand sanitizer on Amazon? A friend of mine who has a factory in China said he got an order for 40 million masks. 40 million face masks, because people believe the face mask will keep you from getting a viral infection. So much nonsense about this coronavirus. I'm going to be doing a trade show this Saturday, and they were thinking about canceling the trade show. I was like, are you serious? Trade show this weekend, I should say. Yeah, there's a lot of trade shows that are being canceled. The biggest health trade show in the world, health natural food products, I should say, the Natural Food Expo in Anaheim was canceled. That thing is huger than huge. It was like 6 stories of a building. That was the last time I was there 10 years ago. And the Natural Food Expo, I just read it was canceled. Why? The coronavirus. Oh, my God. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Lines open for you. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. On the bright side, Pharmacist Ben here, 844-236-6010 is our number. I was talking about prostate cancer earlier. Prostate cancer is a fatty cancer, and all the fatty systems of the body work are constructed similarly. And for females, for women, breast cancer is kind of similar to prostate cancer, at least in terms of the tissue. So everything we said about prostate cancer is true about breast cancer. Focus on the fats. The EFAs, the vitamin E, the selenium, the zinc. I forgot about iodine for the prostate and iodine for the breasts. Iodine is not just for the thyroid. Iodine is for all the glands. And iodine deficiency is a real thing. And a goiter is not necessarily what you need to. You don't necessarily need to see a goiter in order to be dealing with iodine deficiency. You'd have iodine deficiency before you have a goiter. And, oh, by the way, iodine is not a magical cure for hypothyroidism. Yeah, it's true you can upregulate your thyroid a little bit with iodine, and if you're deficient, then you definitely need to be using iodine for your thyroid. But if you have hypothyroidism, it's not like iodine is some magical pill, or magical nutrient or substance. People think, oh, I have hypothyroidism, I need iodine. No, it doesn't quite work that way. You have hypothyroidism, you're sick. Period. And that sounds harsh. I don't mean to sound harsh. When I say if you have hypothyroidism, you're sick, or when you have dry skin, you're sick, or when you have psoriasis or eczema or things that don't appear, we're still functioning. We're still functioning. We're still able to do our day. We're not immobilized. We're not incapacitated. We think we're healthy. But if you want to go by your symptoms, not that you want to freak out, but you want to use them as kind of a barometer, as a dashboard for what's happening inside your body. You're going to the bathroom a little bit too much, 2-3 times a night, you may be functional, may not be the end of the world, but start focusing on the prostate a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to freak out. You just got to watch out what you eat and start using some supplements, pretty much. It's not really that difficult. I didn't mention probiotics. They're also very important. Good bacteria, taking care of intestinal health because fats are absorbed in the intestine. So when you have a fatty problem and you're trying to use fats to sort of protect that or protect yourself or prevent them from getting worse, you got to make sure you're processing those fats. And remember, fats are hard to process. That means you got to make sure your pancreas is working correctly. You got to make sure your stomach is producing enough stomach acid. You got to make sure the liver is processing fats. You got to make sure the intestine is working. You know, there's a whole system that's involved, and that's why to try to treat the prostate, boom, just by itself, it doesn't work. And that's why you get recurrences and cancer comes back, because you didn't do anything. You didn't really take care of the problem in the first place. And at the end of the day, a cancer cell is a distressed cell. It's a freaked out cell. We're talking to, I forgot the doctor's name here, Dr. Dean Waldman at the beginning of the week. And he said, cancer is just when your body's distressed, you know, when your cells are freaked out. When a cell's freaked out, it's not going to be a normal cell any longer. It's going to be a proto cell, an early cell, a primitive cell. And that's what a cancer cell is. It's not complicated. It is really not complicated. We overthink. We smart people suffer from overthinkitis. The low-fat thing, the high-fat, the high-carb, low-fat thing that was big for a while, or this whole eating low-fat. I mean, eating low-fat. I'll never forget seeing this esthetician. Actually, she owned a spa, and she was so proud. This was in the 90s. She was so proud of the fact that she ate no fat. She was skinny as a rail, all kinds of wrinkles. She didn't tell me, but I'm sure she had osteoporosis. But she was low-fat. Low fat. Interestingly, when we went low fat, we got really fat. That's when our obesity epidemic and our diabetes epidemic really took hold, was in the 90s and from the 80s to the 2000s. I had a pharmacy school professor who warned us students about this, the obesity epidemic to come. This is in the 80s. He said the obesity epidemic to come, the diabetes epidemic to come. Diabetes, folks, is a voluntary issue. I don't want to, offend anybody, but listen. Diabetes is lifestyle. It's voluntary. You got to choose to be a diabetic. And just because you're not diagnosed as a diabetic doesn't mean your blood sugar is not totally whacked out. You have totally whacked out blood sugar, totally whacked out insulin, and the doctor could say, "Oh, you're just fine because you haven't met that number, the 120 number, the magic number of 120. If you're at that magic number of 120, your whole life changes." Just stay at 119.9999999 and you're fine. Statistical deception. Everywhere we turn in the pharmacomedical model, you will find statistical deception. This is why I'm very cautious about paying attention to studies. This is why I want to see lots of studies that say the same thing. I know I quote studies a lot, but because they're interesting, but that doesn't mean you necessarily want to be treated based on a study, or you want to make health decisions based on a study. Studies are manipulated all the time, and because we don't understand the bodies, we just go with it. See, when you understand biochemistry, a little bit of biochemistry, you start to get suspicious. You start to get cynical. You start to get careful. I don't want to say cynical. You start to get careful. When you know biochemistry, you don't need a study. Studies are for people who don't know biochemistry. And if you rely on a study, that means you've completely abdicated your responsibility to either learn it or understand it or somehow participate in biochemistry. If you're just going with a study, then you're just giving up. Everybody who reads studies should know biochemistry. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to, that you're going to be paying attention to what you should be paying attention to. Nonetheless, if you know biochemistry, you can be a little bit more careful with studies. I always want to. Biochemistry is the basis of everything in the body and in health, physically, that is. Even spiritual, mental, and emotional work through biochemistry. Biochemistry is the link. Biochemistry is the link. The chemistry of biology is the connection between the invisible and the visible. The invisible world becomes the visible world at the level of the chemistry, the molecule. And even before that, the quantum, but the molecule is basically the first place we can really identify things. And that's the hormone. We call that a hormone at that level. That's really, in a nutshell, how our bodies work. We think something or something invisible like a thought or a feeling come in, or we eat a food, and our biochemistry changes. We put something into the body, whether it's a thought, I'm calling that into the body, or a feeling, I'm calling that into the body, or a food into the body changes. We can exercise, that's putting something into the body, kind of. Somebody asked me, my friend Ron asked me about Qigong and piezoelectricity. Ron, I meant to answer that. Qigong is a body movement. Piezoelectricity is the electricity that's generated with movement. Qigong is awesome, as all martial arts are, for generating piezoelectricity. This piezoelectricity is how movement gets turned into chemistry. So anytime it's not just things that get into the body, it's anytime the body experiences a change, the electromagnetics changes. So our job is to experience positive changes, or to give the body positive changes. We give the body positive changes that facilitate, I'm defining positive as changes that facilitate the easy flow, that word flow, just like psychological flow, the easy flow of bioelectricity, that which does that, anything that facilitates the ease of flow, or the easy flow of bioelectricity, will make you feel better. This is why relaxation is so important. We learn to contract, do micro contractions of our musculature from the time we're babies. And when we freak out about anything, from a credit card bill to hearing bad news to getting fired to having a health issue, anything, so we just get shocked or surprised, we contract, we micro contract. And these micro contractions lead to pockets of death, pockets of lack of oxygen, pockets of lack of electricity, or a difficulty of electricity getting through. This is why muscle relaxation is so important. This is what Reichian therapy is about. Dr. Wilhelm Reich talked everything I just said about the idea of micro contractions. He called it armoring. I call it micro contractions, but it's the same idea. Everything I just said, Dr. Wilhelm Reich basically talked about in the 1940s and 1950s. I think the 1940s and 1950s. I'm sure. I think he died in the 1950s, somewhere in there. He died, by the way, in a penniless, broke man who got completely vilified by the medical model for having the nerve to say that we could take care of our health issues by relaxing our armoring, and that armoring leads to disease. That is muscular contractions. Today we call it cortisol. These little pockets of death, which they are because they don't get nourished and they don't get oxygenated and they accumulate toxicity and they don't get electrified. These little pockets of lack of everything and ultimately disease and death have to be opened up and relaxed. And that's why opening them up using slow, deep breathing techniques is so important. It opens it up. That's why we can't sleep at night. But one of the reasons, among other, there's a few reasons, but one of them is we're all micro-contracted. By the way, especially in the face and especially around the mouth. Feel how much tension you're holding in your mouth. Relax your mouth. Just that alone. You can relax your eyes. You can even relax your scalp. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for longevity products, truthtreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.